All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. So I'm kind of worried that the classic rock concert industry is done. It's done. The reason it's done or could be done, and I don't mean to sound very doomsday or apocalyptic about it, but when you think of it, these guys are already kind of running on fumes. Uh, they're already being aided by technology, all of them being of a certain age for the most part. So they're a higher risk group of people if they go out there on the road. And the fear that's being created as this goes on, and I've been hearing now that certain agencies, certain um, government officials want to lock the country down again, which I think will be the end of a lot of things if that occurs. Um, People have to work, they need a livelihood, they can't just rely on printing money, and that printing of money will eventually result in high prices for everything. It's called inflation. It's high school monetary theory, and maybe people are smarter than me and they know how we can get around that. I'm not sure how you get around that. What I'm most concerned about, though, are bands like, I don't know, pick one, the Eagles, REO Speedwagon, Chicago. These groups, they're not going to be able to survive, and there's going to be too much of a risk. And then the fear that's created with their fan base, which is equally aged to perfection, you may say, but still a higher risk for viruses and the fear that comes with that. Sometimes I think the fear might be worse than the overall outcome of what's going on, but that's another road that you can look at where psychology and negativity day after day is affecting all of us, not just people in the live music community. But as somebody who promotes a lot of older bands and talks about a lot of older bands, it's cool if they can create new music and kind of keep their name out there and do some virtual live gigs. I haven't seen too many big virtual live gigs. I'd love to see Journey. I know they did the separate kind of thing, but maybe put them in a room somewhere 6 feet apart. Everybody's far enough apart where this isn't going to really affect them as members. Obviously, they can get tested and do temperature checks and all that stuff before they got on their stage to perform. But then have like a little pay-per-view tip jar thing where people can tune in and listen to the new song they supposedly have coming out, and then some inspiration. Obviously, I'm a little tired of Don't Stop Believin', but for many human beings right now, that's the kind of song they need to hear. And then maybe run through some other Journey classics as well. And you've got other bands that, have been grounded. You've got Foreigner, who kind of has one guy who's the original guy, and that's Mick Jones. And Mick is in an age bracket where he probably would say to himself, why would I continue doing this? There's already a guitarist in the group that knows all of his parts, and he could step away from it. But these guys, if they're going to continue that legacy, they need to start doing stuff. You do hear from certain bands. Obviously, Stixx wants to counter the Dennis DeYoung stuff. So they're out there talking and putting out snippets of this and that and telling everybody that their new music will be the best on the planet and so forth. But for any band of this caliber, that's really not going to matter unless you shut down all the technology that allows people to just stream. They have to go to a website and actually pay money to purchase the album, and that's the only way they can access the album. I think that would be the way to go. But then other people at this time would complain, hey, I've got no money, I've got no job, and now you're not gonna let me stream this stuff. I'm listening to all the commercials. Yeah, but the artists aren't getting paid anything. So all of this, in a cumulative way, seems to point to a disaster, because I don't know how these groups are going to recover. Younger bands, obviously, with younger fan bases, they will recover. But the geezer rock bands, the ones that I like, for the most part, those bands are going to have a real struggle ahead of them. And I can't think of any positive scenario. Again, if people have a lot more self-confidence that they can go out in public. By the way, going to a concert and wearing a mask is really a bummer for a number of reasons. You tend to be enthusiastic about like sporting events and rock concerts, and wearing a mask and cheering and yelling, and say you wear glasses, your glasses are going to fog. The thing comes up to here as it is, and you're kind of like peering over it to see down because you have to wear it over your nose. It's just a weird and awkward thing. And obviously, if you want to consume an adult beverage or two, I don't know how you're going to do it. Forget the adult beverage, just to get some water to keep you hydrated. So this is a real I don't know. I've tried to be positive through most of this, but I'm hearing things again that they want to lock the country down again. They want to lock certain states down. And, if you keep doing it over and over again, you're just going to ratchet up the level of fear, and people are never going to go to themselves, hey, wonder if it's okay, or I think it's okay. I should just go out and trust and have faith. People are always going to have those doubts. They're always going to just wonder, am I going to be able to do this? I mean, I could see several bands just saying, you know what, we're done. Hopefully some of them have squirreled away a retirement, or they can live off their older catalog with the publishing and the radio airplay and so forth. Some bands do well with that and others don't, especially since, again, they're focus testing a lot of songs out of playlists, and playlists have become boring. And so a lot of these artists aren't making the money they could make, but they're, one or two songs that keep getting played over and over again. I don't know if that's enough for everybody in the group to sustain them for the rest of their lives. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. You would think that they would have had some investment help and so forth in their more prosperous years, but we find out, like David Crosby, for instance, has no money. So at least that's what he's telling everybody. So anyway, you just got to hope that this thing turns around quickly, that this year is just an aberration, and that in the next few weeks we start to see some major improvement, some quick improvement, because otherwise older bands are going to be done. They're going to be pretty much toast, because their fan base is going to be fearful, and they're going to be fearful. And if you're not packing stadiums, if you're not getting that Irving Azoff-like ticket price and filling up the place, then there's no reason to keep doing it. So that's opinion, all opinion. This is just my opinion, folks. In the old days, I had to do disclaimers all the time. This is my opinion. You don't have to agree. And I'm not trying to prognosticate in a negative way and throw cold water on this industry, but there needs to be something for these musicians very soon. Going on Twitter and talking about how everybody needs to wear a mask is not going to endear you to the people who want to go and actually see your shows. What they're going to do is say, how do I know it's ever going to be safe again? The level of fear that's being thrown out there every day, it's having a real detrimental effect on the population at large, and not just people who like rock concerts, people who go to church, for instance, people who go to restaurants, people who used to do social gatherings of any kind. So with that said, I wish everybody health and happiness, and do what you think is right for you. Don't listen to any one person, and don't take anybody, as one authority on this topic. Do research and then come to your own conclusions. for your own personal well-being. And I would probably not buy any tickets for any upcoming rock shows. I know it's going to stink for them because they're going to want to see that people want to get back to seeing concerts. But I bought for a show in the spring and it was canceled, and then they rescheduled it for the fall and they canceled it again. So I don't even know if I'm going to get my money back there. It's just a weird situation. All right, folks, done with the video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and don't forget, I need your help on Patreon. That's right, for $1 a month, you can be part of the growth of this channel and share with me, please, your musical ideas, your video ideas, whatever you got, I'll take. It's been a little slim pickings lately out there for topics, so anything you got, I'll truly embrace. If it's video worthy, I will give you credit where credit is due. All right. See you soon.